What do you think of when you hear the word courage? Maybe you see someone who's reached the top of a mountain or crossed the finish line in a marathon. Maybe it's someone who's overcome hardship and loss and they found a new purpose in life. But for me, courage isn't found in superhuman feats. It's in the everyday, here in the place and in the people who save and change lives every single day. Toronto General Hospital and Toronto Western Hospital. Courage lives here. Not that long ago, I was one of the 6,000 Canadians waiting for a transplant. At 20 years old, I couldn't keep up with my friends or do what I really wanted to. I was weak, tired, and I struggled with every single breath I took. I knew I was in real trouble. My lungs collapsed, I went into cardiac arrest and respiratory arrest. Then a lung biopsy discovered the reason. I was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a life-threatening illness that causes permanent scarring and hardening of my lungs. I needed a new set of lungs. I needed a transplant. Without one, I wouldn't have made it to my 21st birthday. I put all my faith in the #1 transplant hospital in the country, Toronto General Hospital. My mom and I moved from Ottawa to Toronto, and the waiting began. Waiting to find out whether I'd live was by far the hardest thing I've ever done. I couldn't do the little things that everyone else takes for granted, like brushing my teeth or even having a shower. Everywhere I went, my oxygen tank came with me, and the cell phone was always close by, ready for the call that could change my life. At my absolute worst, I had only 6% lung function. I was days away from dying and already in the hospital when I got the call that changed my life forever. A set of donor lungs was found. I was finally going to have my transplant surgery. 12 hours later, Dr. Tom Waddell and his amazing team saved my life and gave me new lungs. A few months later, he and his team kept their promise and danced with me. More than a year later, it's still hard to believe this miracle of new life in lungs. And yet, it's a miracle that takes place more than 600 times in a year at the Toronto General Hospital. And it's why your continued generosity is urgently needed today. When it comes to transplants, this is the place. This is where the first successful kidney transplant was done and the first heart transplant. Since then, there's been so many other firsts in so many other areas of medicine. Discoveries made here become new therapies and transform lives. Lives like Taylor Binns. 6 years ago, his life was mysteriously going dark. Though he did not know it then, Taylor was about to make history at Toronto Western Hospital. Slowly and without warning, Taylor began to lose his sight. No one knew exactly why. Declared legally blind, he couldn't drive or play sports. He was in constant pain. It took 2 years, but finally, the mystery of Taylor's painful blindness was solved. He had limbal stem cell deficiency, a disorder that causes blindness, but usually in people much older. To save his sight, he needed a stem cell transplant from a donor. Luckily, he didn't have to look very far. His sister Tori was a perfect match. For the first time in Canada, Dr. Alan Slomovic performed 4 surgeries over the course of a year, using Tori's donated limbal stem cells to restore Taylor's sight. And you know what? It worked.
I can drive now, which is amazing.
I'm basically 20/20 with my glasses on.
That's better than I had before surgery.
I just have the freedom to do anything, all these things which I couldn't do before. It's kind of validation, and this is pretty much the thing that really defines that for me, being able to be at the pitch on Saturdays. I love being out here playing rugby.
Dr. Slomovic's the man.
I can't thank any of them enough for what they're doing, and I can just hope that through things like this and through donors that more people can have this done for them and get their life back.
Taylor's story and mine are all about courage, strength, and love. He can see and I can breathe because of the willingness of Toronto General Hospital and Toronto Western Hospital to navigate uncharted waters, to imagine the unimaginable, and to believe in miracles. Courage is what brought us to where we are today. Courage lives here. It's in the scientists who make medical discoveries. It's in the surgeons who perform delicate procedures that save lives. It's in our families who give us love and support, and it's in the donor families who believe in giving life, even in their darkest moments. And as someone who cares about Toronto General Hospital and Toronto Western Hospital, it's in you too. Without the support from caring donors, I may not be here talking to you today.
And I might not be able to see anything or anyone. It takes courage to try. It takes courage to overcome fear, and it takes courage to make possible what before was impossible. We hope you will join us in this journey of courage through your continued financial support with a gift of $5,000 and help to impact more lives like ours. We realize this may be more than you are planning to give, but it will have a tremendous impact that will last a lifetime.
From the bottom of our hearts and on behalf of those thousands of patients whose lives you touch through your gifts, thank you for your courage.
Many thanks.